Tennessee Titans. If I would have told y'all, let's be real, if I would have told y'all 3 years ago that Ryan Tannehill would get arguably the top running back in the league and would be in the playoffs consistently when he moved to Tennessee, y'all probably would have said, as we say on this show, I need to be drug tested. But the fact of the matter is,
I wouldn't have.
Derek, okay, not you, John, but thank you. You can still come to the cookout. So when I look at Tennessee, I'm looking at a team and I'm asking myself, the defense. The defense has to be what needs to be fixed because we know what they can do on offense. And again, looking at their schedule, they got Arizona, then they go to Seattle. They got Indy, they got the Jets, Jacksonville, Buffalo on Monday night. I think that's going to be, when we get to Buffalo, I'm going to say Buffalo's got a lot of interesting games for me this season. But then they face Kansas City. They got to go to the Colts, go to the Rams. They've got the Saints. They've got the Texans. They go to New England. They have their bye. Jacksonville again. At Pittsburgh, San Fran 2 days before Christmas, Miami, and they finish at Houston. Ty, Tennessee Titans, King Henry. What do you think is going to happen this year?
Man, it's kind of similar to I forgot the name of the team now. I've been talking so these guys talk crazy. Man, I think about 10 wins. I think so,
10
man.
and 7.
Their schedule's tough too. I mean, they have a tough schedule too.
All right, Miss Megan Price, what do you think for the Tennessee Titans?
I have to agree that their schedule is really tough. And this was actually the one that I did their record last, just because I was so kind of shook by their schedule, not really sure which way they were going to go. Like you said, we all know what they can do offensively. I'm going to say 9-8 though. I do think they have a winning season, but I think they struggle some this year. I think the Colts are going to be a problem for them. And that first stretch right there, I even think the Jets could be a problem for them in week 4. Cardinals, possible. Seahawks, it's in Seattle. So those first 4 games are going to be really tough, I think.
All right, Mr. Fleming.
Do you mind if I give some analytics and facts? Because that's what I do.
Sure, please.
They're going to miss Corey Davis. He's now a New York Jet. I'm going to leave the offense alone, even though they never did fix that tackle position since Isaiah Wilson kind of backed up out of them. Offense is fine. Let's talk about that defense. Dory Jackson is gone. Malcolm Butler is gone. That defensive line push has never been fixed since a gentleman went to Denver. And I like the Nico Autry. I love Bud Dupree, but he's coming back off of a torn ACL. Their number 135 pick, Weaver, is kind of nice, but you can't add B- C+ players and expect to get better from one of the worst defenses of 2020. I think they're ranked number 22 out of 32 teams this year. Now, I don't care if you're in the AFC South. You need defense. And that schedule is so real. Now, whether you think analytics is truth, fact, or trash, if you have a bad defense already, and then you don't replace the people that you lost, and you draft a cornerback that's had back issues in Caleb Farley, you might just take a step back in that division. Oh, and for the young Bucks who don't know their AFC South history, the Tennessee Titans and the Indianapolis Colts, the last 25 times they met, Indy 20, Tennessee 5. So Indianapolis wins this division running away. And I agree with this Price, 9-8.
But when you're 1-15 and you add a bunch of rookies, you go to 7 and what is it, 10? What is
7-10?
10, because coaching matters. San Francisco game, circle it.
He's part of the rookie squad.
John Shear, please, sir.
Yeah, I agree actually with what everything Alex was saying. I mean, the offense should be fine. They didn't fix the offensive line, so Derrick Henry is going to have a tougher time. Ryan Tannehill needs to play action, but they don't have another weapon opposite of A.J. Brown. They lost their tight end and Jonnu Smith. So they actually got worse offensively. Defensively, they didn't do anything besides add Caleb Farley, who I think is fantastic, but he's a year away from actually being relevant because of the back injuries. I think it'll take him a year to really get his feet wet. I mean, they're going to go 9-8, but that's only because they're going to feed off the Jaguars. They're going to feed off the Texans, and they're going to get a couple wins there. But this team overall is a 7-10 roster.
Okay.
They're going to feed off the bad teams in the division, but really they're a 7-10 at best roster because that defense is terrible. And I'm surprised Alex didn't give them the Atlanta Falcons treatment. Baby Gerber, baby food, soft, whatever he said. I thought you were going to go there with them because they're like the Falcons of this South Division.
They are the Falcons of the AFC. They are.
Yeah, they don't play any defense, and they have Mike Vrabel as their coach. How do you not play defense and your defense gets worse every year? So 7-10 roster, but they're going to go 9-8 feeding off bad teams, and they won't make the playoffs.
Mike, go ahead, brother.
First of all, Mike Vrabel is their coach, and if coaching does matter, I will say this: offensively and defensively, especially when you look at a guy like Taylor Lewan, who yes was hurt, but they have a nasty streak. No matter who's playing defensive line, it could be names that none of us know. That team always plays nasty and probably is the most physical team in the division. I will give them that. I will also say that, yes, they do need to fix the defense because the last 5 weeks of this regular season, it just seemed like their defense kept taking steps back. As far as Ryan Tannehill, Eric, look, Miami never did enough to keep him upright. I'm not saying he was an all-pro, but they got him killed a lot. He ran for his life in Miami. So I'm glad he's having success in Tennessee. What I will say about their schedule, after they get done with that stretch of the Bills, the Chiefs, the Colts, and the Rams, they have the Saints, who, again, we don't know what they'll be. I'm not saying they won't be competitive, but they have the Saints, which I would look at as a win. The Texans, a win. The Patriots, all right, they got a lot of people back. They spent a lot of money. We'll see who's playing quarterback, but that exactly 50-50. That could be 4 in a row. That could be 3 in a row. Then you go into your bye. You come out of a bye. Then you play Jacksonville, who, okay, I'm thinking physical-wise, they can beat. And then you have Pittsburgh, who I'm not sold on anyway because you talk about offensive line issues. What have they done with their offensive line? I know we're not talking Pittsburgh yet, but when we get there, believe me, I'll have field day. I'm just saying that's 5 games in a row before San Francisco that you can run a division game with Miami at home on this January 2nd. You can win, and you get the luxury of closing out with Houston. So I'm going to go a little higher than you guys. I'm going to say that they finish 11-6 because I have faith in what you're saying in Mike Vrabel. They are physical. Derek, I'm sorry. I didn't know all of a sudden people are going to be able to tackle Derrick Henry on the first try because all of you are making it sound like people are just going to get to the backfield and tackle Derrick Henry on the first try.
I have a question.
Ain't nobody in the league tackling Derrick Henry on the first try. When the Packers shut him down, Eric, we talked about this. When the Packers shut him down, there were 2-3 guys there constantly in that game. Because, Alex, you brought that point of 2 after that game. There were 2 or 3 guys there. There ain't no one dude that's getting to – if you get to Derrick Henry first, guess what? He's going to take his hand and he's going to shove it into the turf where it belongs.
But what about week?
I have a question.
9? What about week 1 through 9?
It's 1 through 9. That's where again it gets iffy. But I'm saying they could go on a 5-game win streak. That second part of the schedule because
that's part of those 5 wins. Those 5 wins you're talking about.
So
those 9.
Well, I'm just saying they're not going to.
So when you said their defensive line, always plays nasty, is that before or after they cut Vic Beasley? Is that before or after Jadeveon Clowney did absolutely nothing?
Right. Jadeveon Clowney did it, but he didn't do anything. But at the same time, I'm not saying the players don't buy anything.
That's a nasty defensive line.
They play for Mike Vrabel. They're going to be competitive. Really, they're better than the Bungles defense. I can name you 20 defensive lines that have names on them that aren't as good as that aren't technically sound like Tennessee's. And that comes down to coaching, hands down. They might not be the best, but they're technically sound.
Mike,
did you say they're 22nd on defense last year?
22nd on my power rankings. When I rank defenses from top to bottom, I have Tennessee as the 22nd ranked defense, which is still better than Atlanta. That's why I don't call them baby food soft. Bro, I don't give a damn how good your defensive line is if you got no secondary.
Right.
You got a guy who's had multiple back issues. You got rid of Adoree Jackson for some reason. Malcolm Butler's no longer with the team, and Janoris Jenkins is on his 3rd team in 3 years. Elijah Molden, you signed Elijah Molden, who's a rookie, who was getting got in the SEC. Your secondary is trash.
All I know is it is trash, and that's why I said their defense got worse each week. And Adoree Jackson, I think, checked out even before the end of the season last year, and that's on him. But I will say they'll have confidence going into the season because since we have preseason again, they play your Falcons, Alex. Then they play your Bucks, and then they
They're
play
not
your
Alex's
Bears.
Falcons.
Then they
They're
play
not
your-
Alex's
They're
Falcons.
definitely not.
He said that sarcastically.
I
Trust
I
me.
know.
They play your Falcons. They play your Falcons, your Bucks, and your Bears. So the
All right,
Bucks
so
won't play anybody. But
Really
I go
quick.
11-6. I go 11.
All right, fine. Really quick, got to show love to Mike Patton, who's been chiming in all night. He said, listen, the Tennessee Titans lost an offensive tackle last year. They played with the rotating cast, and Derrick Henry still got 2,000
Thank you.
rushing yards. So we're not discussing the offense, though. What we are discussing is what Alex has pointed out, and everybody here has pointed out. It's been that defense. If
Right.
you don't find a way to stop, well, for Ryan Tannehill to be on his backside, he gonna find a Corey Davis. He gonna find somebody to throw it to because he has the time in the world. But we know it's gonna be the Derrick Henry show. So I, in good conscience, I can't go less than 9 just because of that purpose.
Mhm.
Because, like we were saying,
Right.
if Indianapolis's defense is going to be the reason the Colts go 12-5, then I have to say it's going to be because the Derrick Henry Tennessee offense that they go. I'm saying 10-7.
Yeah, because
can't-
Alex and I think I texted Alex on this last year, Eric, that they obviously grind the clock down. Teams' offensive possessions against them, even teams that scored high, their possessions were way down. So I'm with you.
All right. So I'm going to put this up as soon as we finish. I know we've got plenty to talk about. Next time we get together, we are going to the NFC North. I think that's going to be probably an even better conversation than this one tonight because between Minnesota, Detroit, what's going on in Green Bay, and the new look, I'm calling it the new look Chicago Bears, I think there's going to be maybe a little bit of a shakeup, but we will see. So for Mr. John Shear, Sideline Sports Network, Michael Caratenuto, Believe in the Pac-12, Alex Fleming, Florida's Sun, Megan Price, 806, and the Sip Off, and Ty Ray, Say What, Say It Again, your man Eric Wilson for the Sports Arena. Appreciate everybody chiming in tonight. We will talk to y'all real soon. See ya.